Today we're going to travel back in time together, not by time machine, but through a sound that many Gen Z listeners have probably never heard, while those who grew up in the 80s and 90s will almost certainly feel a wave of goosebumps from the nostalgia.
You've got mail.
That's right, the startup sound of the early internet. In the era of gigabit fiber, smooth 4K video, and electric cars connected to the cloud by real-time AI, we take for granted that the internet must be lightning fast, and yet, here's a fact that might knock you off your feet. Dial-up, that snail-paced technology from the 90s, has never actually disappeared. So why, in 2026, are there still people willing to wait several minutes just to load a simple web page? Why haven't they upgraded to fiber? Or at least 5G. Today we're going to decode the secret life of people who are still using dial-up. You might think dial-up only shows up in technology museums these days, but reality tells a completely different story. As of 2023, more than 250,000 households in the United States still consider dial-up their primary home internet connection. In neighboring Canada, that figure was around 1% of the population in 2022, roughly 38,000 people still faithfully dialing in every time they want to go online. This sounds absurd when we're living in the world of Starlink and 5G, but don't be too quick to judge, because behind these numbers lies an entire story about geography, economics, and inequality in access to technology. The biggest reason dial-up still exists comes down to geography. For people living in remote rural areas, internet options are often extremely limited. Imagine living on a farm completely cut off from the city. Major telecom companies are rarely eager to run kilometers of fiber optic cable just to serve a handful of households. For them, the cost of building infrastructure far outweighs the profit from such low population density. This is exactly why many homes in remote areas don't even have cable television, let alone high-speed internet. In these situations, the main alternative to dial-up is usually satellite internet. In theory, satellite is a big step forward because it brings broadband signal to almost anywhere you can see the sky, but reality isn't quite so rosy. Although satellite internet is faster than dial-up, it comes with some critical drawbacks that keep many people reluctant to give up their old dial-up modems. First, there's the cost. Basic satellite internet packages typically start at around $65 per month, but only offer modest speeds of 10 to 25 Mbps, and that's before factoring in equipment costs and installation fees. Even SpaceX's Starlink service, which promises higher speeds, comes with a hefty subscription price and initial hardware costs of up to $600. For many rural families already facing economic hardship, $600 is simply too high a barrier. Second, there's reliability. Like satellite television, satellite internet is extremely sensitive to weather. A heavy rainstorm or thick cloud cover can cause the signal to drop entirely. On top of that, satellite latency is very high, making things like online gaming or video calls incredibly frustrating. By contrast, dial-up is slow, but very cheap. Some dial-up providers today even offer a set number of free access hours each month. For people who just need to check a simple email or read text-based news, dial-up remains the most economical option. You might ask, what about DSL? DSL runs over old telephone lines but is much faster than dial-up. So why aren't people in remote areas using that? The problem is that DSL requires specialized and expensive equipment at both ends of the connection. And because DSL is still significantly slower than fiber optic or coaxial cable, many internet service providers, ISPs, are gradually phasing it out. They don't want to keep spending money maintaining an outdated technology. This has sparked intense debate because many people in remote areas still rely on DSL for at least an acceptable level of internet speed. As ISPs abandon DSL to focus on more profitable urban areas, where deploying fiber brings higher returns, rural residents are left behind, and sometimes dial-up is the only option remaining. It's not just people keeping dial-up alive, machines are too. Have you ever wondered how ATMs or point-of-sale POS card readers in remote locations actually work? These devices don't need large amounts of bandwidth to transfer data. A banking transaction only takes a few kilobytes of information. As a result, dial-up is still commonly used as either a primary connection method or a reliable backup for these devices. It's simple, inexpensive, and takes advantage of telephone line infrastructure that has been in place for decades. In modern society, the internet is no longer a luxury or a novelty gadget like it was in the late 90s. It has become an essential need for participating in economic, educational, and social life. The lack of quality internet options in rural areas isn't just a technology issue, it also leads to population decline. As young people leave the countryside in search of faster internet, ISPs have even less reason to invest in infrastructure there, creating a vicious cycle. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Technologies like fixed wireless are expected to help bridge this digital divide. By transmitting internet signals through mobile tower networks, major carriers can deliver service directly to homes without having to dig up the ground to lay cables. This could be a more cost-effective and far less disruptive solution than waiting for a construction crew to tear up your backyard. Looking back at this whole story, we can see that dial-up doesn't exist because it's good. It exists as a testament to the inequality in technological development. While half the world races toward a future of the metaverse and AI, the other half is still struggling with aging copper telephone lines just to send an email. Dial-up is like an old bicycle in a world of supercars. It's slow, it's noisy, but if it's the only vehicle you have to get from point A to point B, you'll still have to pedal it. Hopefully, within the next few years, with the advancement of mobile networks and affordable satellite options, the crackling sound of a modem will truly exist only as a fond memory in a museum. Thank you for joining The Secret Life Explained. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next fascinating mysteries about the world around us. And what about you? Do you have any memories of dial-up internet? Share them in the comments below. Goodbye for now, and see you next time.